All right. So today we're going to talk about this topic of managing digital distraction. Okay. So this first part, I'm going to start off with a little like um, survey, you can call it, or a little questionnaire. Questionnaire is a better word, or a little questionnaire. There's going to be 12 questions, all right, coming up next. And I would like you, just now Joel has mentioned that you have a piece of paper with you. So if you could take out one piece of paper, no, all right, as simple as that. Okay, and then later we'll tally up the scores after the 12 question, yeah? All right, so let's move along. 12 questions, I'll just read out as we move along and you just score accordingly by yourself on the piece of paper, okay? So I've bought you enough time. I hope you've gotten your paper and your pen or pencil ready. All right, 12 questions in this questionnaire about managing digital distractions. EJ, am I digitally distracted? Let's find out a little bit more. Question 1, all right. Do you find yourself spending more and more time online or on your digital devices than you realize? Okay, do you find yourself spending more time than you realize? If it's yes or a no, all right, just put question 1 and then yes or no. Moving on, question 2. Quite lengthy, this question looks very chim, all right. Do you find yourself mindlessly passing time, all right, scroll, on a regular basis by staring at your phone, your tablet, or your computer, even when there is more important or more productive things that you're supposed to do? And when you do so, do you find yourself losing track of time? Yeah, scrolling TikTok videos, scrolling mindlessly, scrolling YouTube video, even though you know you got work to do, housework to do, homework to do, but scroll, and then wow, already 1 hour already. If you find yourself ending up in those situations, if it's a yes, put a yes. If no, then put no. Just be honest with yourself. All right, later, don't worry, I'm not going to ask you to submit exam paper, not to worry. Moving on, question 3. Do you find yourself spending more time with your virtual friends versus your real friends, the real people? Okay, do you find yourself doing so, right? Catching up with them, go mama and all that, but well, never mind, just text them lah, text can already, group chat can already, don't want to meet lah. Okay, do you find yourself doing more and more so? If it's yes, then you put yes. Not no. Question 4. Has the amount of time you spend on your devices and the internet been increasing? Okay, this one touch your heart lah, huh? Okay, I'm not going to ask you raise your hand, just touch your heart and reply can already. Okay, yes or no answer. Next question. Do you secretly wish you could be a little less connected to your devices? All right. You somehow know that it's taking a lot of my time. I secretly wish I'm not so connected. I secretly wish I don't depend on my phone so much. All right. Your inner desire. Right? Yes, no? Write it down. Question number 6. We're at the midpoint mark. All right, stay with me. Okay, so I think some of you really do. Okay, I need to confess, I also do this. Right? Do you sleep with your smartphone under your pillow or next to your bed regularly? Okay, regularly. How do you define regularly? I leave it to you. Okay. Yeah, I have my phone next to my bed. Honestly, I confess. Yeah, because it's also my alarm clock. Yeah. Or sleep with the phone under your pillow, quite power. Right. Number 7. Do you find yourself viewing and answering messages or watching social media and videos at almost all hours of the day and night, even if it means interrupting other things you are doing? Right? Example, you're supposed to 9 to 10 o'clock tonight to be on this managing digital distraction thing. But as I'm talking, you're also watching your TikTok video, you're doing other things, all right? Yeah, or your parents are talking to you and you're just scrolling, interrupting other things. Number 8, do you text, email, watch video, use social media, surf internet while you are studying or revising, or other similar activities that need you to focus your attention and concentration? Okay, do you do so, right? When you're studying, revising, then plugging in, watching social media, listening to Spotify or whatever, watching Netflix maybe on your tablet. Number 9, next question. Honestly again, see, all very honest question, all right? Do you feel your use of technology actually decreases your productivity at times. Okay, this one again, touch your own heart and answer the question yourself. Do you feel sometimes you use so much until like, yeah, my productivity dropped, like, yeah, my work don't get done, and or the quality of the work decrease, yeah. Okay, that's number 9. Okay, hang in there, another 3 questions. Number 10, do you find yourself feeling uneasy or uncomfortable when you accidentally leave your phone or your device in the car, all right, your parents' car, your own car, some of you were driving, you're older, all right, or at home? You feel uneasy, uncomfortable, like, okay. For those of you who are older, you know that there's a credit card lingo called you cannot leave home without it. All right. Some of us really feel this way. Wow, when we leave our home without our devices, we're like, got withdrawal symptoms. Second last question, number 11. Do you feel reluctant to be without your devices, even for a short time? When you leave home, you always have your smartphone with you or digital device with you. That means if you are challenged one day, say, hey, let's go, mama, but we don't bring our phone. Wow, cannot struggle because I need to go, mama, must take picture, must selfie, must update my Instagram, and all those. Yeah, you feel reluctant, you don't want to do it. Okay, and the last question is, when you eat your meals, the food, is your phone always part of the table setting? Okay. When you eat your food, your phone always on the left, on the right, or in front, tilted some more. You're watching the latest Korean dramas. I don't know whether Malaysians you watch Korean drama. It's okay to not be okay, or crash landing on you, or whatever. All right. All the YouTube videos and whatever, social media. Okay. Sorry. TikTok. Big stuff. Okay. Hear you. All right. Okay, so 12 questions here. All right. And let's tabulate your answers and let's see the results. Okay. So how do you qualify? All right, this is just for fun now, right? This is not like some academic studies now, all right? But I found this little fun quiz to do with us. And so as you tally your results, see how many yeses you have. All right. Okay. And so if you score more than 3 or 4, then you might benefit from going on a digital diet or digital detox. Making small, powerful changes in the way you use your technology. All right. So if you score more than 3 or 4, high chance that if you are easily digitally distracted at times. Okay. So this is just a little fun quiz. All right. While we try not to take it too seriously, but also I think there are some insights to this. Yeah. Okay, especially if you hear that there are people complaining that you're constantly on your phone, you're very distracted, maybe it's time to make some switches. Okay, so after doing this survey, maybe some of you are still not convinced, hey, EJ, it's okay. In this time and age, everybody Zoom here, Zoom there, Google Meet here, Google Meet there, we are used to being distracted, all right? In fact, who says cannot be digitally distracted, all right? In fact, there's power in multitasking. It's not about digitally distracted. It's called multitasking. I can get more things done in a shorter amount of time. All right. So in the next segment, before I jump to share the tips and the handles about how we can better manage and prevent ourselves from being digitally distracted, I would like to share with you, all right, a bit of like mythbusters. All right. So like this picture here, punching the bag, about busting some myths about busting some we thought they were true, right, about multitasking. Okay, so when we talk about being digitally distracted, often it's tied into multitasking. Okay, so the first one, we are actually, all right, contrary to what everybody believes in, okay, actually we are quite, or most of the time, less efficient at our work. Our efficiency actually drops. Okay, just now one of the questions was asking about productivity, right? Okay, so actually it drops. Okay, in case if you are not convinced, you can try to observe your daily routine, the work that you do, whether homework, schoolwork, or even if you're an office worker, the work that your bosses or your colleagues that you work with, you're actually less efficient. But over here, I'm going to do another little exercise with you. This one, do not write down anything on your paper. Okay, hold it in your mind. I would like us to hold it in your mind. Remember the response, the answers. That's good. Let me reframe this. The next PowerPoint slide would ask a series of questions. The answer to the question, don't shout out, hold it in your mind. Okay? Then later, we will review the answer or ask you to review the answer. Okay? So with each question, I will hold it there for maybe like 3 to 5 seconds, and then you keep the answer in your mind first. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, first one. Second one. Third one. What is the missing alphabet? Fourth one. Fifth one. And the last one. Okay, don't write the answer down. All right, keep it in your mind. And now we go for a little bit of a commercial break. Yeah. Sorry, the sound is not coming through, but it's okay. All right, I think you can see from the screen. Let's enjoy a little bit of commercial break. Whee! Okay, commercial break over. And now I have classified back the same boxes. So you can see on your screen the boxes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, you can type in the chat group. What were the answers? What are your answers for the various boxes? So you can type in sequence, like number, comma, number, comma, number, comma. Yeah.
Okay, so they're answering. One of them actually mentioned the commercial break was so interesting that they forgot.
Anyone can remember? We just put it in sequential. Yeah. What's the answer for the first one, comma, second one, third one, just sequentially? Hey,
So do you
nobody
need to
got
read
the
the answer?
Does anyone have the correct answer?
Let me double check.
Oh, never mind. We can read out the answers. You can read out the answers.
So the first one is a 35. Most of them wrote 35. Second answer was false. Third was I. Fourth was 27. Fifth is true. Sixth is S.
Okay. Anyone answers is different?
I'm going to specifically mention Godfrey's one. First, forgot. Second, false. Third, forgot. Fourth, 27. Fifth, true. Sixth, and S.
Thank you everyone for being so honest and participative, so spontaneous, loving it. All right, so the answer will be as this. All right, okay, false, I, 27, true, and you. Okay, the commercial break in the middle was very intentional to disrupt you. Okay, so just when you were holding all the answers in your mind, I purposely throw something to hopefully can throw you off course a little bit. And if they had nudged you, you may have lost your train of thought and you couldn't come up with this. Okay, yeah. So the reason why I came up with this experiment, or I learned about this experiment, was that in preparing for exams, for example, what you want, or revision of your work, what you really want is to be able to read the information and store it in your mind, and then hopefully be able to use it for my exams tomorrow or 1 week later or something like that. That requires you to hold it, all right? And to be able to hold these things in your mind, you need to, one of the ways is don't allow other things to distract you. And if you're multitasking, you're jumping from task to task, a lot of times you can't hold, the information doesn't sit very well in your brain to translate it to long-term, we call it long-term memory, that you can use it later for exams. So some of us, we get distracted by a little video as minions, some of us, many other things. All right, so this is just a little activity to show it to you.
EJ, sorry. Let me just interrupt for a while. So earlier there are a few questions. Why is number 6 U instead of S.
Sorry, did I write wrongly my answer? Sorry. Okay. My apologies. I changed it at the last minute. Okay. Then I forgot to change this slide. I changed the other slide, but I forgot to change that slide. Very
Good
observant.
observation.
Very good observation. Thank you so much. All right. Must remember to change it before I do my next training session. Right. But thank you so much for bringing that out. So you didn't get it wrong. I got it wrong. All right. Okay. Moving on. All right. So as we talk about this whole digital distraction thing, research have actually shown that our attention span is actually getting lesser and lesser. Okay? Back in the year 2000, 20 years ago, average human attention span was said to be about 13 seconds. We were slightly better than a goldfish. Yeah, goldfish was about 9 seconds. Then when internet came along, when technologies and all those, it was found out that somewhere in 2015, if I can see from my slide correctly, the average human attention span dropped to 8 seconds, worse off than a goldfish. Okay, and it was actually proposed, okay, the last one, that the average attention span of an internet user is 3 to 5 seconds. Think about it, it's quite true. If that TikTok video, if that YouTube video, if that Facebook video, Instagram video, within the first 3 to 5 seconds doesn't catch your attention or anything nice, you probably will switch it. So there's some truth to that. Okay, so I covered a few things. All right, debunking the myth, about digital multitasking. Right, and one of the things about multitasking is that we tend to forget what we learned. Yeah, I talked about it earlier. Okay, the information doesn't transfer to long-term memory, and we get distracted and we easily forget. All right, and this relates to research has shown that when you have phones very nearby, okay, even if you're using the phone for good purposes, I must say, all right, sometimes we're just checking and referring, all right, but a lot of times, to be honest, okay, we get distracted by the chats, by the posting, the IG stories, or whatever that is coming in, and then we get distracted to look at it. It actually affects memory, all right, and once we get distracted, okay, in the long run, research says that you will reduce your brain power, even if the phone is switched off, because there's a constant thing on your mind, I must look at it, I must look at it, I must look at it. Of course, the rest, I'm sure you're familiar. If we get so caught up with devices and we are constantly distracted, we are not just being distracted ourselves, we're distracted from the relationships that are around. Okay, we hardly get involved in deeper conversations. Our conversations tend to be more superficial at the level, and we don't get deeper into conversations. It's hard to improve on relationships too. And of course, at the end of the day, when you use up more time, time is wasted, right? And if you honestly really want more time for yourself, for leisure, it's better to focus and finish your work first. Don't multitask. Then actually you have more designated time. Okay, if you multitask, you end up spending more time, more mistake, you have to redo your work, blah, blah, blah. You waste more time. And you have lesser time for your own things, lesser time to catch up on your sleep, lesser time for your own leisure stuff, all right? So time is actually wasted. And the truth is we only have 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Okay, so just now, all the exercise was what EJ said, okay, but EJ needs to back you up and say that this is what research tells you. So cannot be just the Singapore guy, the influencer, wannabe say on, all right, must substantiate with evidence. Okay, so these are some of the research reports that actually comes out, okay, to at least tell you it's not what I say on it. My activity only justifies what the research tells us. Okay, so affecting IQ, affecting your productivity, your brain is draining, overworking our brain sometimes, decreases your productivity and takes a toll on your memory as well. Okay, so oh man, oh gosh, how? Okay, so what can we do, right? I'm going to share with you some tips, but be prepared that these tips are so super duper mind-blowing that you will fall off your chair on, all right? Totally, all right? Be prepared for some amazing mind-blowing tips. Okay, I'm just kidding. All right, now I purposely, in fact, I want to tell you this. The best tips sometimes are the most basic ones. Okay, coming back to the most basic foundation. And a wise man once said this, all right, the high-tech problems don't require higher tech solutions. Okay, maybe the solutions are back to basics. Okay, this was a quote from a wise man in Singapore who yearns and desires to be an influencer. Yeah, you can make a guess who he is. Yeah, no, but it's really true. You know, in the course of working with a lot of young people and parents and families, I've realized that as technology gets more high tech, we often think, is there a higher technology that can solve the problem? Need not necessarily be so. Sometimes it's really back to basics, right? And some of these solutions, tricks that I want to present to you are just adjusting some of our habits, our lifestyle approaches, you know, the way we do work, and that would, you give it a try, all right? I don't want to preach to you, but I feel that you give it a try, and if it works, you come back and tell us. So the first thing, don't multitask. One thing at a time. Don't try to be overly ambitious, do 5 things at one time, 3 things at one time. You know, I know we are in the Zoom era where, you know, you feel like the lecturer is very boring on my computer screen. I can better use it to do my report and other things. But honestly, if you try to multitask too much, you get more mistakes, you overlook things, and you end up spending more time. So I rather you focus on one thing at a time. Plan your time properly according to schedule. Do one thing at a time. The next one, review your work. Don't waste or don't fill out your time with distractions. In between your work, all right, use it to review it, use it to think through, hey, what did the teacher teach us now? All right. For example, I've met many young people who, after the we call it home-based learning in Singapore, after a lesson that the teacher teaches on the screen or they watch a webinar and all that, immediately after that, wow, take out their phone and then start Instagram, you know, watch video. Actually, the immediate half an hour or 15 minutes of pockets of time after you watch or you learn something is the best time for consolidation. All right, to recall and recap. Oh, just now the teacher said this. Just now I saw the TED Talk, you know, the speaker was saying this, you know, so you recall. This recalling actually helps you to remember better and store it from short-term memory to your long-term memory. But if instead of doing that, you do other things, okay, you go and play your device, play your computer game, all right, and get digitally distracted, then the information will, there's a high chance it will be lost. I don't know whether you've seen that or not in your classroom. Okay, so the teacher gives a short break and come back. All right, and then the teacher asks, "What did I teach us now?" Okay, all forgot, because it really matters what you do in that short span of time. Third thing, all right, create for yourself tech-free times and location. Yeah, I know it's not easy, but if you practice good habits, it will be helpful for you. Certain time, it's time to disconnect, then disconnect. Okay, I don't think you got much to lose out, all right? You know, if you're revising your work, you are preparing for exams, maybe tell yourself, this next 45 minutes, I'm going to revise on my work. My device is going to be outside the room or put in a box or somewhere. I can attest to that. I used to not do so. I used to put my phone next to me when I'm doing my projects, doing my work, writing my reports and all those, and I could attend to all these things that come. I realized I end up spending more time attending to these things. And my most productive hours, time, was really when the phone is out of my sight, right? Out of sight, out of mind. You may ask, but EJ, I got emergency, you know. I need to ask my friend something, right? Even so, if it's emergency, get out your seat, walk out, go to the phone, and either call your friend, you know, or text him. I highly recommend you to call. If you can call, please call your friend, because that's something quite refreshing to do instead of constantly texting. Yeah, I think talking explains things better. Yeah, so create these time and space for yourself. Lastly, spend your time wisely. As mentioned earlier, we only have 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The workload is increasing. Stress is increasing. Time does not increase. So you need to be wise how to apportion your time, how to make time for yourself, time to do your work and focus. Do it intentionally. Don't be distracted at those times. When it's time to play, it's time to play. Craft out time for yourself to relax, go for a walk, play football. If you want to watch videos and all that, set aside a time and be disciplined about it. All right. So, and of course, devote time to social relationships, friendship, okay, your family relationships as well. It's important so that you don't get so fixated on the work and the digital stuff that you neglect other relationships around. Spend time to exercise. All right. This pandemic has made us all indoors. But indoor also can do exercise. All right. You know, some computer game also can play exercise, play tennis and all that. Okay. Or the video exercising. Okay, watch video. There's some of these online exercises that you can follow. Okay, so spend your time wisely, but where you set aside that block of time, be focused on doing those things. Don't be distracted. Okay, so I've come to the end and just wrapping up with a summary of the 4 tips that I've mentioned, how to better manage our digital distractions. But more importantly, I hope the little exercises got you thinking. All right, that the activities that we do, the exercises that we do, got you thinking, and you know, a food for thought for us that hey, maybe digital distractions, you know, the multitasking, yeah, not really so true after all. Not doesn't make me more productive. All right. So I encourage you in this coming week, give some of these tips a try. All right. Try it 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, and witness for yourself I would dare to say improvements. All right. These tips are something that I applied for myself too. All right. So witness the improvement and come back and share with us, share with your mentors, some of your club leaders, or share with Joel, share with Victor, you know, what you observe and how things have tweaked and changed for you too. All right. So thank you so much for having me here. I will close up with keeping in touch. All right. So if you're keen to stay connected with me, yeah, for the really young audience, the hip and the Gen Z audience, you know, we're on IG. Sorry, I haven't really ventured into TikTok yet. I'm still trying to learn about those, but the best I can go now is IG. All right, you can find me there. For those of you who are not so young and want to be young, you can look for me on Facebook. All right. You know, with that, I will stop sharing and I'll pass the time back to Joel. Joel, over back to you.
All right, awesome. Once again, just if you can unmute your mics and give a round of applause. Send your Malaysian love to EJ. If you don't, I have a backup plan. I hope this comes out. There you go.
Thank you.
All right, awesome. We really appreciate you, EJ, for all that you mentioned. And
thanks, Godfrey.
All right, and so we hope that you also captured all the 4 points.